right, good evening, everybody. You've got gas, the Great American Auto Scene, coming to you live and indirect from North Hollywood, California.
That's right. How many loops in the wire? I think we need to tie things in a knot, and
here we are trying to be serious about things, and
we're never serious.
No, you're never serious. But seriously, we're not serious.
Boy,
that's true.
All seriousness aside.
Yeah.
All right, we go into things. And, for those of you who were with us this last weekend at Irwindale Drag Strip, we had the Los Angeles County Raceway reunion. And Bernie Longjohn, the longtime manager of the track and operator, was there. And Long John came with him, his daughter-in-law, Marie, and a host of others, Mark Holmes, and more. I mean, the names, we had all the announcers.
Old you forgot who was there.
All the guys that did announcing at LA County Raceway were there.
How do you spell LACR?
Carefully. But we had. Now, I was not the first announcer at LACR. I was the first announcer at Antelope Valley Drag Strip, which preceded LACR. I started there in 1977 when the track reopened as AV Raceway. And at that time, Tim Rigby was the operator and manager of the track. I left in 1980 for about a year or so, and Craig Dales was the announcer after I left. I came back, Dales went away, and I was there for another 20 years. In that time, sometimes we had some guys who would sit in with me. Tommy Jackson, who was on KNX Radio and KXEZ. John Nickel ended up taking on the spot after I left in 1997. Mike English sometimes was up there, and Jay Kaysen. And we were all there for this event at Irwindale. Well, naturally, I was there because I was the announcer for the track, and we were running a race. We had a Summit Series race, and probably, I would estimate, around 50 to 100 past LACR workers and racers there and their families. So it was a nice gathering for a first-time event, really low-key. We had a bunch of cars parked there on display. Stormy brought down the Revelation Dragster, and Anna was there, and Stormy was trying to keep her sedated. But that's another story altogether. But Stormy was there with the Revelation Dragster. Now, Stormy and I had met at LACR when he was running NDRA, and the car was an injected car running in junior fuel. He's since it's all fixed up. John Calvert was there. Now, Calvert's distinction is he won the Winter Nationals with the Cobra Jet.
Who gave her the?
40
are these
years.
Chad Klein's photos?
They probably are.
Thank you, Chad.
Chad Klein gave us some photos. Now, this is Paul Calvert's Mustang 2, Cobra 2. And, people discount the Mustang 2 as being just a glorified Pinto. Well, it kind of was, but you know what? It's the Mustang that saved the Mustang name. And as you can see from the back of his rear window, he competed in a lot of races and won a lot of times at LACR.
He did. Look at that.
That car is cool.
And it could have looked neat. It was set right. It looked good. And John Calvert brought out the new Cobra Jet. Now, John won 40 years after the first Cobra Jet won at the Winter Nationals. Al Joniak, who won the first time with the first Cobra Jet, and John were both at the Fabulous Ford show, which we're going to be talking about in a little bit. But we've got a whole lot of pictures for the LACR reunion, and Bruce is going to bring them up. Here's that Mustang, too.
That car's cool.
Doesn't it?
Yes.
It looked good.
It's fast.
And it was fast.
And it's a winner.
He was. He got close to the finals.
It's so fast, they did a billboard. It says Fast and Furious behind it.
There you go. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Reminds you of a girl I once knew.
Is that Irwindale?
Yeah, it is Irwindale.
That has a fabulous track now.
It is all new asphalt. The track is really smooth and straight. A lot of guys are having fun. We've had a few guys that can't hook up, but they couldn't hook up before either. So, we're seeing things where they got to get set to the track. But we had a couple of cars go almost up on their rear bumper.
Holy cow.
Racing was fun
Racing
that
was
day.
great.
Look
Here's
at
another
that.
old LACR racer, Mikey Griffin.
That's bitchin'.
That's a neat little Falcon.
How many sanctioned tracks are left in California?
I don't know. There's Mike English, Jay Kaysen.
They were signing this magazine.
They were signing your magazine.
Yeah.
Signing your magazine. It was already shiny.
There's
the group. Yeah.
Yay.
Hey, how
Now, you can
about
tell
it?
where I am. You look in the background, you see the microphone being held up in the air. I was so short behind all the tall guys that we got John Nickel in the front, right alongside Bernie Long John and Long John and a host of other people that were there for the LACR reunion at
That was like herding
Irwindale.
wet cats to get that photo.
It was kind of neat.
bet.
Now, in the background, what you don't see is my hot rod.
Yeah, we were covering it.
We're covering
Sorry.
my hot rod up. But that's okay. And I brought that because it was the car I built during my time at Irwindale.
Here's another shot from that day of the race.
Yeah, some great shots.
Nice wheels up.
Chad was taking some pictures. This is a cool run. This
He's
El
a good
Camino was running
photographer.
sevens.
We should use him more often.
I think so. There's the staging lanes. We had over 100 cars for the Summit race, which isn't too bad.
Wow.
And it went off without a hitch. Weather had cooled down on Sunday. It was a little hot on Saturday. We had 2 days of Summit Series racing. Irwindale Irwin Quayler in his 65 Mustang. Now, this is a 5-second Mustang. He hooks up just fine. As a matter of fact, he's learned how to leave without putting the front wheels up in the air. So he took the wheelie bars off, and we were kind of nervous about that, but he was doing fine. 425 cubic inches worth of small block Ford takes this car down the track in 4.6 seconds.
That's
The
not
power
a lot of...
pony.
Yeah.
5.6. not
Horsepower.
4.6. Now, here we got the Mustang 2 against the new Cobra Jet.
How about that?
And they
Who
ended up
won?
running each other in the semifinals.
Jeez.
So
Who
you got
won?
the Calverts against the Calverts. And for those of you who don't know the name Calvert, think of Caltrax traction devices. Those are the guys that do it.
Oh, how
Do they
about
have
it?
parts?
Parts. This is a neat car. Now, I love this car. It's a 1967 Bel Air, big block. And you can see he's got the wheels up. This was a 7-second machine, and he would leave that thing, just dump it and just go.
Man, that's a lot of weight and size to lift
Yeah.
that nose up.
Oh, I remember a friend back in high school had one of these. It was just plain Jane black, red interior,
Yeah.
427 4-speed.
We could caption that photo "Beast on the Blacktop."
Well, we call it the heavy Chevy.
Yeah, it's bitchy.
Bronco
Ooh,
City.
love that.
Little long roof racer. Bronco brought the car up. That was actually not as high as it got. It almost got to the rear bumper on one of his runs.
Jeez.
Bronco's a past Summit Series champ, and he was out there. Didn't quite do as well as he did, but he did get a 00 red button from me.
But that's it. Ooh, look at Chad's got all these great
The
wheels up
eventual
shots.
winner, Marvelous Marvin Rolls, in his little Vega. Now, he is a 3-time track champion, and he's on his way. He's in the points lead right now after 3 Summit Series races. And you can see wheels up on the wheelie bars. That's how he likes to leave. That car runs 645 every time.
Holy cow.
Wow.
Man, oh, man. Oh, and there's the
fire.
Mustang,
There's the
too.
Mustang 2 again.
Yeah, yeah.
And the Maverick.
Oh, yeah.
Now, people that say, Irwindale's got lousy traction, did you notice how many cars so far have the wheels up in the air? It's not because they're on floor jacks. I mean, these guys were leaving hard. They were not spinning the tires. They were just leaping out there. It was a great day of racing. We had no mishaps. Only one slight oil down, which was it was minor. They just poured some alcohol down and wiped it up on the starting line. Everything else was fine. We had one guy lose his header going down the track.
Ugh.
It chased him.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, and motorcycles.
Now, there's racing there every Thursday night.
Yes, every
Imports,
Thursday.
door slammers, motorcycles. You can bring whatever you
About
want
250
out.
car show. Now, that looks familiar, too. And it's even Anna in the background.
Well, look at that.
Yeah, I was giving directions.
Yeah, it figures.
Yeah.
And
I was wearing my LACR shirt,
you were.
as was everybody else.
Yeah,
But
Ken and Stormy there.
boy, does he have, Stormy has a lot of memorabilia
He does.
from that track.
Took the trailer to get it there.
Yeah.
There's Marv getting his winner's
Yay.
photo taken.
Congratulations.
Man, that is a sweet-looking little car, isn't
It is a neat little Vega. I've always liked the Vegas. I used to road race one, and they were pretty good handling cars back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like a tiny, tiny Camaro.
Yeah.
Yeah,
tiny
as
terror.
a matter of fact, that's what it looked like back then.
Yeah. So cool.
Another
Speaking of which,
LACR racer. And there we got a 1967 Camaro.
And we want to thank the Justice Brothers for supporting Irwindale now, because that track is nice now.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Whole new pavement down there. And there's one of our winners, Jack Swanson.
man, another 67 Camaro.
Another 60, and he's got all the factory rust that was on that car when new.
Yeah, yeah. And in fact, I'm trying to spot this. There's no rear marker lamp, but it looks
No.
like the front fender has one. So.
No, he's just got a lot of stickers there.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, the difference between, for those of you who may not know, the difference between a 67 and a 68 Camaro, no wind wing on the door, and side marker lights, front and rear.
Yeah. No, I didn't know
Different
that about the wind wing. I knew that about the side markers.
Flow-through ventilation started in 1968.
Which
Still open the window.
Yeah. I always wanted to have that wing window.
I like the airflow.
Yeah, ever since they deleted that sucker, it's like, well, fine. I'm not going to buy a car built after 1970.
You sure you're not? Yeah.
Speaking of which,
What happened to my photos?
well, do you
We're
want
trying to find them.
Yeah, do you want to see some of your photos?
We'll see some of
Yeah.
your photos.
All
I
right.
took some.
You wanna
good
see your
ones.
photos?
Yeah, they weren't so bad. I was just running around the pits taking photos, but I didn't get good ones like Chad because I
didn't
was
get
in the
the action
tower
shots.
harassing Bob.
That's true. That's true. But we had a great day.
Okay,
There's
so
Stormy
there-
and some of his memorabilia.
So
Oh,
that
yeah,
red
the
T-shirt
Revelation.
on the lower right is an original Antelope Valley T-shirt,
Ah, okay.
and
See,
then
and that, like I said, it was AV Raceway. It was Antelope Valley Raceway before it became LACR. It didn't become LACR until about 1981.
and then he's got a trophy, and all of those T-shirts
Yeah.
are from various years from
events, yeah.
from the track, and
Stormy has to have a separate room just for his T-shirts.
we have to label them. This is Irwindale. This is LACR.
Well, it's easy. All you do is you go back to when he couldn't wear them.
Right.
These were mediums. These were large. These were extra large. And
Yeah,
I
exactly.
think, what is he, a 2X now?
I don't know.
He's
You'll
a
have
big
to.
boy.
He's yours.
All right, so there is an old issue of Full Throttle News when Stormy was editor, and this was on the very last day
Yep.
of the race,
I was. I went in
and
the
that's
tower.
a Big Willie.
Yeah, Big Willie was on the microphone almost all the time. I went up there to say hello. John Nickel was sitting there with him. I talked to him for a little bit, and then I went back outside. My son was running his 57 Ford there.
Oh, wow.
He was 17 years old.
There's
he was
an
the
old
cool kid on
jacket.
the block with a 57 Ford as his daily driver.
So you were going to be watching that.
I was helping him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Old jacket. Wow. That jacket is still like brand new.
Yeah.
What's the story with a letter jacket? Is that an LACR
He was a class
letter
winner.
jacket?
He won NDRA and was a class winner.
And he's got all his buttons and
Buttons, yep. Button. Who's got the button?
that's a very rare button. Now, Bernie
Yeah.
Longjohn said that he's got about 50 of those left.
Yes.
And I know Dave Mandela really wants one.
Oh, we got to get some from him.
That's
the
Crooked
old-
Photo.
Yeah, that's the old AV
Bruce,
Raceway
can
logo.
you flip that photo around? That's
no,
the
he
original.
can't. You did it.
Oh.
It's your fault.
Okay.
Irwindale reunion. This is when it was NDRA, or when maybe not. This one was Bernie putting on an Irwindale reunion, and that was when the track was sponsored by Chief Auto Parts.
Yeah, Stormy doesn't miss anything.
No,
He got up at 5 o'clock in the morning to take that car down to
I know. He
Irwindale.
called me too, and I was waking.
And that's
still
what,
sleeping.
one of his trophies, 1991.
Yeah, somewhere back there.
Look at
He
that.
also has a very rare trophy collection. He has trophies from Lions.
Yeah.
Pretty
Wow.
neat.
That is
And,
cool.
he saw his
there's
car
another
running at Lions when he was a kid.
Yeah.
Before he bought
that's
it.
the tower and everything on the side.
Everything on the side.
There's Willie.
Somehow we've got to
Thank
get
you,
Anna to
That's
turn
why
her
we need
camera.
Chad.
Yeah.
So I had everybody sign, and,
And you took pictures of all the announcers together. What happened with that one?
they're in there somewhere.
Somewhere?
I don't know.
Somewhere.
Somewhere. What is that?
That's Stormy popping a wheelie off the line at LACR.
On Nitro.
No, that was when he was still running
No, it
alcohol.
says injected on
Oh,
Nitro.
injected on nitro. Okay, so he
1988.
was.
Ah, what do you know?
And that was Bernie's Alabama
Yeah.
track.
Bama Dragway. Bernie left LACR when LACR became a gravel pit. Went back to Alabama to run Bama Raceway or Dragway, but nobody there moved at the speed of Bernie.
Right. So he came home.
He came home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's an old T-shirt from that other shot on Nitro.
Yeah, look at
or
that.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So old, yeah, another Crooked Anna
What's on the
photo.
crooked one? Crooked Anna.
Display with all his photos from all his racetracks. So,
Oh, that's some great
so that
stuff.
was nice.
man.
And
Why don't
then,
we get Chad online?
yeah, let's get Chad. So Chad didn't take this photo.
No, because it's not straight. That was Don Horn. He put that sign up at his booth. How you doing there,
Hi,
Chad?
Chad.
I'm great. How are you guys?
We're doing great. Hey, you had some great photos. Loved it. Wheels up.
Oh, thank you.
And the smoky burnouts,
Yeah.
awesome
Oh, yeah.
action shots. Yeah.
That is a classic. That's a classic thing for Irwindale drag strip only.
Yes.
Because I've shot a lot of drag strips, and I've not been shooting a long time, but I've been shooting fairly long. And I must say that the Irwindale burnouts are the best I've ever seen. closest to 90s and 80s nitro racing.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of guys that think they're John Force, and they or they have a good tire sponsor. I'm not sure which it is yet, but they do some hellacious burnouts there on Thursday nights. Most of the guys we had at the Summit, they're a little bit more reserved. They know how much the parts cost, and they don't do that kind of a burnout. But Thursday nights, man, we even have a special place for people who just want to do burnouts at Irwindale now. We call it the Donut Box. Where you can do donuts or you can do burnouts. We had a guy a couple of weeks ago did a burnout so long he popped his tires.
Did he really?
You know, I was there Thursday night shooting some photos, and we had people with threads hanging out of their tires, so they were sparking as they were doing donuts in the box.
Oh yeah, steel belted tires going at it. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Chad, you're out there every Thursday night taking photos. If someone wanted to get a photo from you from a Thursday night or a Summit Series race, how would they do that?
Oh, you can Google me and just Chad Klein Photography. It's ChadCline. I've got a Spungbug account that I use, but if you Google Chad Klein Photography, you'll find me on the web. You'll find me on Instagram. I'm on Twitter. I try to keep. I'm not as busy as you, Bob, but I try to keep myself pretty busy.
Yeah. Well, you're out there Thursday night just like I am.
Yes.
But Chad's actually working.
Now you sound like my ex-wife. Announcing can't be working. You're having fun.
Yeah, because
Really?
you're such a jokester. It's the Bob Beck comedian show on Thursday night. Is it?
And I'm one of the few photographers that can say this, is that I'm a former 2-time track champion from Irwindale.
There you go.
Wow.
Awesome.
So I won 2 championships in a row at Irwindale on a drag bike and run it up the 3rd year. And, I decided to hang the helmet up for a little bit and, grab a camera and start shooting again. And I've really enjoyed it. And it's been a lot of fun. And Irwindale is a place that I call home. I love Irwindale. It's given me a lot of great moments in my life. And I enjoy being out there. And
you meet
Bob's
so
a
many
class
great
act.
people, too, right? Meet so many great people
always.
like me and Bob and Bruce.
Yeah, you and me. Uh-huh.
Mostly me.
Yeah. There's some Thursday nighters, Drop Top Mustang, you name it, it comes out on a Thursday night. It's open. And there's another track champion. There's Alex George and his Maverick. This thing is a 6.0 to 590 car.
Jeez. Man.
And his wife drives Nicole George. She drives a late model Mustang. Now, Nicole has the distinction. She has the speed record between the 10 freeway and the 60 freeway on the 605. Pass me like I was standing still.
Oh.
Tom Tucker from Tucker Tire comes out with his
That's a
Gasser
cool
57. That was his high school car.
Love that
Is
little
that
car.
right? That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
57 Ranchero.
There's something really cool about running at night with the lights and stuff. And Chad, I don't know how you deal with it because speaking of lights, you got to worry about lighting and being able to see these cars and still deal with headlights and, all the track lighting and stuff like that. So you can, man, that must be some trick photography you've worked up to be able to do this.
It's taken a little bit. And actually, the first time I went to Irwindale to shoot at night, I had a very dear friend, Tom West, that passed away recently, and he was a former, very well-known Irwindale drag strip photographer, and he was a friend. I remember calling him and saying, "Tom, what do I do? I'm going to go shoot Irwindale at night." And he said, "This is what you do, kid. Set your flash up like this, set your camera up like this, and just go do it." And I've been doing it for a while now, and it's a lot of fun. I think it gives a different atmosphere when you're shooting under lights, and you get to see different things, and the flash helps bring some things out that you wouldn't normally see. It's been a great experience. Like I said, I love Irwindale. It's such a great track, and it's our track. It's a track for everybody, and it's not just a track for the hardcore racer. I have a photo from Thursday night. I was going through photos just recently from Thursday night, and there's a Toyota Corolla and some little Honda of some sort racing each other.
Yeah.
That's what we get out there, and not a lot of tracks can say that's what they get. That's what we get.
Yeah, we get a lot of the guys. Yeah, a lot of the guys that are learning how to drag race first time out there, or guys that come out and just love to flog their cars. We got a guy that comes out. He hasn't been out in a couple of weeks, but he brings out a Tesla
Is that right?
and smokes everybody. The car's a 720 car.
And I don't think people realize what a community service Irwindale is doing,
Yeah.
because if we didn't have these tracks, they'd be on the street.
Well, and that's one of
Like
the
I
reasons.
was.
Yeah, like you were. Well, but that's a
Hey, I was
different
too.
story. That's a whole different. This is car show. But that's one of the reasons we came out with the burnout box or the donut box. And so the guys that are doing these donuts in the middle of the street, jeopardizing their lives as well as others, have a place to do it. It's $20. Come on out, do donuts, do burnouts, whatever you want. You got 45 seconds per time, and you can go as many times as you can get it in a night.
Fun.
So you got the donut box. Another $20, you go drag racing. Guys, you don't want to race your car? Not a problem. Bring the wives.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah. Now this little Datsun that we're showing
Borrow
on.
the wife. There you go.
Hey, we had a guy out there.
My wife would be happy about that.
We had a guy out there Sunday. Now hold this picture, Bruce.
Okay.
But we had a guy out there Sunday driving a BMW in the Summit Series race because the race car wasn't finished,
Oh.
and it was his wife's car. And he got the semis.
Wow.
And he was a kid. I remember him from LACR when he was about 4 or 5 years old. And here he is, an adult. We had a 7-year-old kid with him that was sitting with us in the tower watching his dad drag race for the first time because he hadn't drag raced in 10 years. And he was trying to put the car together. The car was his dad's. And he was trying to get it back together again. He got the engine in, just didn't get it running to the point where he wanted to take it out to a race.
Yeah.
So he brought the wife's BMW, and he was racing that. So, it's run with your brung, and it's anything and everything. We have BMWs. We had a whole bunch of Challengers. We had 2 Demons going side by next. We had a bunch
I
of
had some-
Hellcats.
I got some photos of that from Thursday night of them sitting. They were the first car in the lane.
Yes.
Thursday night, sitting there, the black one and a red one right behind each other. It was really cool.
Yeah, Ron Silva, who has the red one, he's out every Thursday night. And he took that car back for the Demon Hellcat race that was just a few weeks ago back east, and he towed back there and won.
Huh.
And he won on a hole shot. He's got that car down at Irwindale. The quickest you can go without needing the roll cages and everything else is 6:39, and he's run 6:40.
Man.
Wow.
He's
He's
getting
right
seat time
there.
and practice, and
He's
that's
get-
what it's for.
Yeah, and that's it. Seat time, practice, or having fun. He averages somewhere in the neighborhood of 42 to 642 to 645, but he's there every Thursday night. You can see a real Demon. There was another one there, like you said, racing against him. There were Hellcat Chargers. There were blown Novas. There were guys with turbocharged Hondas. You name it, it shows up on a Thursday night. And you run with your brung. You can go at it all night long. $20 to go race. Now, this little Datsun we're showing on screen right now, when he could get the tires planted, this was a low 5-second Datsun. Unfortunately, on his last pass, it became a 20-second Datsun on the roof.
Oh, dear.
Oh,
Yeah, he got it out of shape, tagged the wall, and it went over. Short wheelbase, who knows how much horsepower, but this thing, turbocharged with a hot 4-cylinder, rear drive, this sucker was running low 5-second ETs.
And he's learning how to drive it, so that's also good because he could have done that on the street.
Yep.
Yeah, he could have
You know,
rolled it on the. I mean, he
could have
totaled
rolled
out
it on the street.
He totaled out
Yeah.
the body. I mean, the body on that car looked perfectly straight until he hit the wall,
Oh, boy.
and then the bondo came off.
Oh.
So, but he set it on the roof, and unfortunately, he'll be putting that back together. But we have a number of those hot imports coming out, the little hot hatchbacks that are just running super strong. And here's another Honda.
Yeah, one of those little Honda Sports.
Some of these guys drive him in and drive him right out too. They just
and
they
others
take him home.
are glad they have AAA.
Yeah.
well, and like Sunday, we had the GTR that comes out on
Right.
Thursday night.
Yeah.
But he also came out on Sunday and bracket raced, and
For the first
Bob
time.
would remember his time better than I could. But he was in the 6s in the
Yeah.
GTR.
Yeah, 674. And that was a wide body kit with big tires on a GTR. Other than that, it's stock.
Wow.
And when he first came out to the track with the car, he started running low 7s, then he'd dip into the 6s as he learned how to launch it. He finally got to the point where he put some good tires on it, doesn't drive through the water box, drives around the water box, no burnout, and just goes. and he cut 00 reaction times. He was he's getting there.
Wow.
So he came out to his first ever race. So we have the farm truck that comes out.
That's bitching too.
Oh, the
And you know
farm
what?
truck,
Everybody's so
twin
nice.
turbo.
You talk to everybody, you make new friends, and it's a big hot rod family.
Yeah, and you learn things. You find out things. Here's our tech manager's son, Philip Bulgari. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Anyway, Philip came out. It was his birthday. What did he do on his birthday? He raced at Irwindale. And I don't know, I think he's 21 years old now.
Nice.
But we had 3 generations of racers there.
It's
We
cool
had-
to see him with
it
the
is.
headlights on, isn't it? Racing at
You know,
night.
it is.
Yeah.
And the cars too.
Oh.
That's wicked.
1969 Camaro. Supercharged. You can see the little supercharger mounted down low in front to get the air in there. Mm-hmm. I mean, we got guys coming out with supercharged, turbocharged. You name the technology, it's there. Diane Branham, we've had her on the show.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
She runs 580s with that car. Man. It's all motor.
So, Chad,
Peters.
you're next to the Christmas tree on these shots, aren't you?
On the launch photos, yeah. Actually, I'll stand on right next to Christmas tree to get those really close up, really good action shots.
Yeah, these are what we call the
And that's-
EX category, so they only run left lane. They don't run airs during Thursday nights.
Ah.
Yeah, the EX cars and motorcycles. We got some fast motorcycles out there, so they'll run single lane. So when they run single lane, I'll go out there and either stand next to a tree, or sometimes I'll actually deal them out. I'll get down low to kind of get a little better angle up to get a little more drivetrain view of some of the cars.
Yeah. Now, everyone says, 8th mile, there's not enough shutdown. The fastest ET at the track is 390, I believe it is, and it's a jet car. And he
At
had
over
plenty
200, right?
Yeah, over 220 miles an hour, and he had
Holy
plenty
cow.
of room to stop.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, there's plenty of room to stop. We have 2 turnouts on Irwindale. The first one's right before the oval. The second one's right after the oval. If you miss the second one, just send us a postcard from Monrovia when you get there. But actually, we have a net at the finish line. She's not very friendly, though. You run into her, that's it. No, but
Good old Annette.
we have a net, yes, back there.
And,
But we have
and I could say, from a Thursday night point of view, and racing my bike out there and just doing a lot of testing and tuning, is that when you drive around, the benefit is that when you drive around, you get to drive around the NASCAR track and actually see what's going on there and take a good peek at what's going on the NASCAR track, too.
Yeah, we've got a lot of things going on in NASCAR. Speaking of Irwindale and NASCAR tracks, July 4th, my anniversary, we're doing it on the starting line again. We're going to have a car show. If you want to get into the car show, let me know. You got to have a hot rod, muscle car, or custom or lead sled, whatever. Just let me know. Contact me on Facebook. It's free to the first 50 cars. Hot rods, car driver, and passenger. Anna and Stormy are going to untie the knot. They're going to get married on the starting line. And we've got 2 surprise preachers coming in to handle the ceremony. There'll be another couple getting married. There'll be other couples renewing their vows on the starting line, all during the 4th of July NASCAR race at Irwindale Speedway. So you're welcome to come out. Get your tickets now. That thing sells out quickly.
Yeah, and they have
And you
fireworks
get a
and demolition derby.
spectacular fireworks.
I'm sorry, what?
We're not going to have
The
demolition derby.
fireworks show is amazing.
Yeah, the amazing fireworks show. We won't have the demolition derby this time.
I'm not going.
Oh, well, Stormy will have to marry someone else then.
To marry himself.
He'll marry himself. But yeah, it's going to be NASCAR this time, not the Night of Destruction. We always got married. Well, we always got married. We got married at Night of Destruction. We had our first anniversary during Night of Destruction last year. This year we're doing it during the 4th of July. We want to stay with the same date. But this year it's going to be a NASCAR race, not Night of Destruction.
Okay, I'll be back then.
You'll be back
Yeah,
then?
I'm back.
Okay, you're back? Okay. Phew, I was worried. Chad,
And I
you'll be
believe
there?
you had some. I believe you had some street racers that got married last year. 'Cause
Yes,
I was
we
there
did.
for that event.
Yeah, we did, and
Chad, you need to
gonna be
come
more.
out and take all the wedding photos.
I took a few photos from the last one.
good, hey.
The web photographer.
And he wore his LA Brotherhood of Street Racers jacket. That was his wedding garb. She had a nice dress on. He wore his street racer jacket. And we had a bunch of street... As a matter of fact, the guy you showed during the burnout on the motorcycle that we showed a little while ago, he was there. He's got a bagged lowrider, and he came out with that. So it was a great turnout. We had about, I'd say 50 to 60 cars last year. And, again, 50 cars, hot rods, muscle cars, lowriders, customs.
Trucks,
trick trucks, they'd be fine. In the show area, car, driver, passenger, come in free. Got to get there by 3 o'clock. We'll bring you in, and you'll be you'll get a parade lap on the track. You'll be on the infield during the autograph session. So, Bruce, you can even bring your Lincoln.
Nice.
And Anna, you could tow your Mustang. And
that one's running.
That one's running. Yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. And have Stormy bring the dragster, and we can fire it up as you say I do.
Oh, then no one will hear me, and it won't be official. Great.
Anna,
you know what? I need a bigger ring for all of this rigmarole.
Anna, there is no way people will not hear you.
You know what? I'm my very own Cackle Fest.
Yes, you are. We've been listening to that for hours now. Anyway, Chad, thank you very much for calling in. I
appreciate it.
And we're going to, if you want to get some photographs of the racing at Irwindale, talk to Chad. See Chad's website. Come on out on a Thursday night. $10 to watch, $20 to race. Great place. Keep it off the street. Take it to the track. It's a lot cheaper than a speeding or exhibition speed ticket.
Ooh, love that shot,
too. Yeah, those are great. Those are two past champions at Irwindale in the Summit Series.
Beautiful.
Thanks, Chad. Take care. We'll see you Thursday night.
Hey, thank you for having me on.
All right.
Man, yeah. And these are all Chad Klein photos that we're seeing right now, too. So
now, the action photos.
Yeah, that's right.
Anna had some action photos, too, but they had nothing to do with cars.
I love that shot. Can you go back to that? That guy came in, I think it was him. Does that have the wheelie bars on the back?
Yes, it does.
Okay, that guy comes in a vintage service truck that looks like an ice cream truck.
Yeah.
And you open it up, and it's a full-blown shop on wheels, and then he just rolls the bikes in and out of the back.
That is so cool.
It's so cool. I also found out that you can buy old Snap-on tool trucks, and you could use those as a hauler, which is kind of neat. So you see some cool stuff at the track, and got to support it, especially in California, because Jerry Brown's trying to get rid of it.
Yeah.
And we just need to support each other. So, yeah, come out, go racing.
Come on, go racing, have fun. And we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll be back in just a little bit. Still waiting for Debbie Bradshaw to call in, talk about her concrete concepts, art, and more. And we've got photos of the Fabulous Ford Show. So stick around.
Now look to Packard for two great lines of cars, the new Packard and Packard Clipper. Here is the exciting new Packard Clipper with big car value at medium car cost, built for those who want a quality car at a price within the average family income. The advanced contour styling of these powerful 8-cylinder Packard Clippers is setting the new trend in automobile design. And for America's new choice in fine cars, now look to the luxurious new Packard. This Packard Patrician is America's most individual car, with proved Packard power brakes, power steering, and famous Packard Ultramatic. The beautiful custom-styled Packard represents the finest automobile ever built. Yes, Packard offers two new lines of cars. The exciting Clipper for big car value at medium car cost, and the luxurious new Packard. Truly America's new choice in fine cars.
What makes a champion? Not only performance, but consummate style. Witness the Oldsmobile Cutlass Supreme for 1985. Cutlass Supreme is the most popular car of the 80s. Its style, its grace, its artistry say champion, and you feel it in every move.
There is a special beat in an Oldsmobile.
You are about to leave the world of ordinary cars behind and make the Eagle switch. The revolutionary two-wheel, four-wheel drive American Eagle. The only automobile that lets you switch from two-wheel drive to full-time four-wheel drive. From high mileage on the road to high adventure off the road. Two-wheel drive luxury to four-wheel drive security. American Eagle. A switch from every car in the world from American Motors.
are back, and you've got more gas coming your way. Now, on the phone with us right now, we're going to talk about her artwork and maybe some of her other
Attributes.
exploits. Attributes, see how we can do that, too. It's Debbie Bradshaw. How you doing, Deb?
Hi, Bob. Hi, Anna. Hi, Bruce.
Are you still up in frozen tundra country?
Yes. Well, we're not frozen right now.
Oh, you're not? It thawed out, huh?
Yeah, I'm finally, the snow's all melted, so I'm good. It's beautiful up here.
I can imagine. I was showing Anna some of your pictures of the snow drifts off the back of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't fun. While you guys were sitting in sunshine.
Yeah, we don't shovel sunshine down here.
Yeah, I know. You
There
left
she
that
is.
in already. Thanks, Bob.
Hey, so Debbie, tell us about your artwork, because I didn't know it. We had that conversation earlier today. Concrete Concepts.
Yeah, it's called Concrete Creations.
Oh, Creations.
And I just
Are you there?
started to do what's that?
You
we lost you for a
disappeared for a
second there.
minute.
Don't turn. Your
Oh,
phone's
look at
losing
that.
reception.
Are you there?
We're here.
Oh, you're watching.
there?
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
You're watching.
Okay.
the
There
show,
we
aren't
go.
you?
Yeah, Bob, let me tell you, one day I bought this at Ace Hardware, a Studebaker truck planter, and I got curious as to know how they make them. So when I get curious, I learn.
You did. And
I did. So I learned how to make, all of the sculptures. Then I went a step further and learned how to make the molds so that everything that I make you won't find anywhere else, because I make my own molds with my own models from scratch, everything.
Wow.
that's cool. That's cool.
I am
The mermaid.
impressed.
Now, the website they can go to see the ones that are available. Now, I bought the 49 Ford, the pickup truck,
Yeah.
and the kind of like an Indy racer, an open wheel race car.
Yeah.
So we're going to put those
Yeah,
in
the little speedster. Yeah, I do the 1949 Ford Coupe. And then actually the very first car that I made was actually requested by George Barris back before he passed away.
Wow.
He said, you've got to do a 1957 Chevy Bel Air.
Oh.
So that was the very first one I did.
Oh, and I didn't
Chevy
see that.
Bel Air, and then
didn't
I did
see
the
that
49 Ford. I just finished a 55 Ford Thunderbird.
one. I saw the
That
pictures
will
of that.
be, yeah, that'll be being released here pretty soon. And then I just try to do things associated with cars just because of my modeling background. Of course, I
Yeah.
got the Route 66 stepping stone.
Well, we're going to have, when that Thunderbird's ready, let me know. Put me on the list. I want one right off the bat.
Yes, that is actually getting ready. I'm ready to produce out of the mold. So it's a long process to make those.
Okay. And you're doing that, and then you do pinup modeling as well. Let's see if Bruce can pull up some of those shots. We're showing them to Anna. Anna's does old school rods and occasionally uses young ladies to dress up the cars. And I showed her some of your pictures.
Yeah, I put female hood ornaments.
I think the cars dress us up.
Oh, yeah.
No. The girls dress up the cars. Yeah. Your live hood ornaments.
Oh, yes.
So when are you coming back down to
Although,
L.A.?
I don't know. The things that I make and stuff, they don't have horsepower. They don't do spin outs. And I certainly am not getting married at the starting line at a race. So this is a complete 360 from the first half of your show, isn't it?
Oh, of course. But we can arrange all those things, too. I mean, come on.
Exactly. It
But
keeps
your
you on
concrete
toes.
creations could be wedding presents for drag racers, right?
Yeah, drag racers,
Yeah.
car
There you
collectors.
go.
Yeah.
Those are great. I want one in you got any dragsters? Any gassers?
There you go. Yes.
Make them. I'll buy them. Put them in my yard.
Yes. I've got little dragster, little speedster.
Awesome.
Now my
Okay.
truck. And I'm always taking suggestions as to what, people's ideal model and make would be, what year.
So you do custom orders too, which is good.
I do. They just take longer because I'd have to make the mold for it.
Okay.
But I try to make the most popular, most demanded, and put those out and make the molds, and then I just mass produce them.
So we go to concretecreations.com or Etsy, or where are you?
It's it's on. I have a shop on Etsy, which is Concrete Creations 66, of course, for Route 66.
Ah.
Gotta
And
have
same
that,
thing
yeah.
on Facebook. It's Concrete Creations 66. And I love doing it. So us models, we really can take our heels off and get down and dirty.
That's good.
See, Anna?
Well-
the heels come
Yeah.
off.
The heels come off. You want to hear something funny?
No.
One time I was gardening in gold sequin heels, and my mom came out and she goes, "Jesus Christ," and she turned around and she went back in the house. Gardening in my heels.
Yeah. There goes the neighborhood.
Yeah. So are you showing these at event? Do you bring them out to car shows, like with the booth or anything?
I'm actually going to start doing that. I'll be connecting with all the people that do the car shows, and I will be setting up a booth coming soon to a theater near you.
When you coming back down to the LA area?
Coming to the LA area, yes. You know how much I love that drive, Bob.
Oh yeah.
Oh, boy.
Well, I haven't seen you. We haven't seen you at the breakfast cruise in Malibu in months.
She's in another state.
Well, we're all in another
goodness.
state, but
Exactly. I'm going to have a blast. I'm going to have a super blast. But I've got a lot of festivals and art festivals and fairs that I'm going to, and I will be coming down south.
All right. Well, good. Well, you got to let us know when you come down there, and we'll have to get together with you and whoever and everyone else. But
And everybody else. You got
everybody
it.
else,
Just
right.
invite everybody.
That's it. All right, Debbie. Hey, thanks for calling in. Hopefully, we get some more art out there.
You got it. You've got lots of goodies on the way.
All right. Thanks. Take care, Deb.
All right, Bob. We'll talk to you soon.
All
Bye,
right.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, and as she leaves the line, there's some photos of Debbie doing her poses.
Yeah.
Debbie Bradshaw on
She is
Facebook
with,
with John D'Agostino.
Yep.
I think that was at Rodeo Drive, and she had beautiful eyes.
Yep.
She's beautiful.
Yeah.
She's a cutie. Nice
She's
person,
a beautiful hot rod girl. You can't miss
Yep.
with that, sweetie.
How
All right,
about
what's
it?
next on the menu,
Next
Bob?
on the menu, let's go over some stuff Bruce took at Fabulous Fords.
The Fabulous
Fabulous Fords.
Forever Show.
Bruce was down there with his Lincoln. I was down there with my wife's 46 Ford, and I was one of the MCs of the event. We got to talk to a lot of people. Linda Vaughn, Al Joniak, who drove the first Cobra Jet and took the win at the Winter Nationals, just shut down everybody. This was the award winner. This was the top pick car, the Model A.
And that's where it all started.
That's where it all. Well, no, the Model T, but I mean, no, that and there's some Camaros, Mustangs. Yes.
Yeah, the Ford Camaro.
Boy, we're gonna get the hate mail now. It was Etzel Day.
Love
it was
that.
the anniversary of the Etzel.
I
and
believe they had didn't they have Edsel number 1
We
there?
did. We had Etzel number 1, the first one off the production line, official off the production line. It had serial number 1. So it was a 4-door sedan of all things, never been restored, totally original. And it it had the patina, but it was neat. We had over 1,000 Mustangs. How many of you remember
Yay.
getting a ticket from a Mustang like that one?
Yeah, the police, the CHP
police.
Mustang.
We had a lot of new Ford products, and then how about a Jeep? This one is Al Grant's original Lola. That was the first Lola. That was the basis for the GT40.
I did not know that.
Al worked for Shelby American, was there for the Le Mans race, was working in the shop at Lola. Offered to buy the car. They said, yeah, but you got to have it out by the end of the day or end of the week. He took it home. He bought that when he was in his 20s.
Wow.
He's in his, a lot older than me. And he restored it just a couple of years ago. It's an amazing car. I finally found the model of it the other day, and I bought it. And I've got the model. I'm going to take it to him when I see him next and get Al to sign it for me. But this was a great show. Bruce, what was your impression? Because you were walking around, you were doing a lot of filming. There was the Lincoln section, which you were part of, I believe.
Yeah. It's almost overwhelming because, like any huge show, you almost can't take it all in. So you kind of have to. Yeah, there's my car.
There's your car.
Yeah.
On the other side of the car, you see.
Yeah, and
New GT.
But
that looks like it's on a turntable.
It was.
It was. That one was.
I was going to say that's some fancy photography, Bruce.
Ford brought out the one of them. Celine had a bunch of different cars there. Shelby had a bunch of different cars there. It was neat. And I love this hood ornament.
Yeah.
Or radiator cap, in this case. It
very
spins.
cool.
Look at that suicide door in the back.
And that was factory.
Yeah.
That's awesome. You know what's great about these shows? No two cars are alike.
No.
True.
You meet all these great people.
Except for the Mustangs.
It's family oriented. You can get dressed up in the era of your car.
Yes.
I mean, they're so much fun.
Yeah, and because they're large, anything that you're into in terms of a niche, it's there.
And there's the number one car.
Right, that number one Edsel.
Yeah.
Because, there's Broncos and Mavericks and Thunderbirds.
Oh, boy.
And Cobras.
Yeah, cool.
Literally.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at the intake, the turbo intake.
That is a great idea.
Yeah, just take out a couple of headlights. And it was phenomenal cars. I'd done this show as a participant maybe once before, several years ago, and I think at that time it was a 4-wheel drive Mustang that I had in, and they placed me, as I recall, I think with the Broncos because the car looked like a Mustang, but really it was a Bronco.
Yeah.
And even then I was just going, holy cow! Look at how many of everything is here.
And there were 1,600 cars entered, plus another 100 cars brought by the manufacturers.
And you know what? That show where was this at? Knott's
Berry Farm.
This show is starting to get hard to get into because it's so popular.
It sells out real
And
quick.
completely sells out that you got to really get on it to get your tickets.
Yeah, and this is at Knott's Berry Farm. It's always the second week in April, which I continue to miss the Long Beach Grand Prix.
I know.
And then there was another show I missed too, but I won't talk about Mopars like that. How about this? An overhead valve conversion with dual carburetors on a Model A.
Yeah.
A Pangera.
Yeah, I had never seen one before.
Yeah, they were. It was a kit that you could buy through they sold them through Ford dealers.
And it turned a Pinto into
a Pangera. Yeah.
So cool.
Different dashboard pieces and the pop-up headlights and everything.
Look at the beautiful wood
yeah.
and the vintage cars.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And that's some upkeep, too. You have to really be a dedicated collector to have a wood-bodied car.
Man, ain't that the truth?
Yeah. You have to refinish them twice a year if you don't take proper care of them.
Yeah, if you keep them outside.
Yeah.
Gorgeous trucks, too. Loads of F1s and F100s and 150s and 250s, et cetera, et cetera.
Candy colors.
Yeah, those are the guys from the SoCal Falcon Club that my wife and I started about 20 years ago.
Nice.
Oh, great.
Yeah, here's a GT40. Or actually a GT. This was the first reincarnation of the Ford GT.
Yeah.
Now look at that. These are popular. They're coming back.
Coming back. Square vans. Yeah. I'm thinking about getting an E-van.
I know.
Yeah, they're bitching.
I built one that was in hot rod.
That's cool.
Panteras.
Yeah. Man.
No, this was an all Ford product show. It wasn't just Ford badged. It was Ford products. Panteras were sold through Mercury dealers back in the day. You saw the Mercury Cyclone, which was their version of the Ford Torino.
Yes, and you're right. We saw a Cyclone Spoiler GT, I think, a while back.
That was a neat one. That was the top of the line, that 429 Cobra Jet motor.
By the way, these aren't those. I figured we'd throw this in for a little extra footage. It's the Rods and Rails show.
Oh, yeah.
The Motion Picture Car Club had a presence there. This was just a couple of weeks ago. And these are everything there that's a part of the LA Live Steamers Club organization. All of these trains are actual steam engine trains, even though they're miniatures, and they all run, and so they carry people.
Now, wasn't that an invite-only show, or?
Yes, yeah. In fact, spectators couldn't go to this. You had
so
to
this
be in
is
it.
special footage. Thank you for showing this because I missed that show.
Yeah, me too.
And I wanted to see it. Look at they're making handmade ice cream
with a steam-powered, like 100-year-old stationary steam engine.
Blender.
Yeah.
The steam blender. Yeah.
So wasn't this on private property?
Yeah, it is. It's a part of Griffith Park for those people watching in L.A. area, and the Walt Disney sort of an early Walt Disney. They call it the barn, where a lot of his early concepts and stuff were created. Is there as well, and yeah, it's.
I love a Studebaker. Look at that.
Yeah, and there's one of those big
That's some
Hudsons.
nice cars. Now, are these all TMPCC cars?
Yes, they are all. There was a few that weren't in other areas, and we've seen, I think, a couple of those here and there.
Yeah, that pickup truck for one, but that's Ed Levitt's Oldsmobile. He's one of the members of TMPCC.
Yep, and
Flip top, huh?
Now, are we all members of that club?
I believe
Yeah,
we
the
are.
Motion Picture Car Club. It's a closed club. It's only for people in the entertainment industry, and you have to be sponsored to get in.
And we
they're
can't tell you
very
who's in it.
strict on anonymity, so you can't share the newsletter. You can't talk about who's there.
No, and that's for
So they
we
can be
protect the
comfortable
members.
and relax.
They can be comfortable and relaxed at meetings and events that we do that are in special places.
Yeah,
A lot of fun.
yeah, total fun. I know that somewhere around here we'll see more steam engines, but anyway, yeah, it was great to be able to be there. It was the perfect day for it. Look at this
that.
guy.
Wow, that
happens when
thing
you-
hauls.
That's what happens when you wash it in hot water.
And of course, steam engines are always washed in hot water.
I
Yeah.
love that Country Squire.
Oh man, it's
I've seen that
love
in a couple of
wagons.
shows. That is just
Yeah.
an amazing car. Oh, look at that Lincoln. That looks familiar, Bruce.
Beautiful, Bruce.
gee, that does look familiar. Where? in
That's
the
a
heck?
beautiful car.
Oh, well, another Plymouth besides mine in the club.
Yeah, with no flames though. He's got to
No.
step up a little bit.
Oh, look at the train behind it.
Yeah. So
Great Model A's.
yeah,
We ought to
yeah.
do a story about a show about Model A's because there's a lot of history behind them and the battles between Henry Ford and Edsel in getting the Model A produced.
Henry Ford was, by that time, very much a stick in the mud, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was not going to go for anything new.
No, the Model T was just fine. We can continue to produce it.
Yep. This
And-
is called a hit or miss engine.
Yeah.
It fires only occasionally.
Yeah, every other revolution.
Yeah, or whenever the flywheel is going slow enough
yeah.
that the governor tells it to fire again.
Look at that glove. That's
Yeah,
funny.
and the valve springs are exposed.
Yes. It's incredible.
There's a whole club that bring these out.
Do you
Yeah.
know there's a guy who audio records all of that and makes a symphony out of the noise?
Is that right?
Yeah, it's pretty
These
cool.
were used as water pumps on farms.
Yeah. In fact, one of the ones here was pumping water sort of in a circle just to show that that's
That it
what it
could
was
do it.
doing. Yeah. It's
You
amazing.
hear hit and miss. You hear it every once in a while. It fires.
Yeah.
And God bless that guy for restoring that and running it
Yeah.
and showing us, because you never see
You
those.
see the rocker arms are exposed, so there's no pressure oiling these things. You got to sit there with an oil can occasionally and oil them or something because there's no pressure. They didn't have an oil pump.
Yep.
And just a lot of things like that. And we'll talk about things like that, too, because Henry Ford was very much into that type of technology. Simple. If you
Yeah.
didn't have to put an oil pump in there, you saved a penny or two per car.
Yes.
And that mounts up when you're building 1 million cars a year. You saved, a lot of money. So example, the first flathead V8, the test engine did not have an oil pump. He wanted splash oiling.
Is that right?
Didn't last too long, but they after they blew the motor up, they've convinced him no, it needs an oil pump. But that was Henry's idea, was splash oiling, just like you have on a Briggs and Stratton motor,
Right.
Or some of the early 4-cylinders of the time. They were splash the oil around, get it to do things, and you had pressure to the crankshaft. That was maybe it. Or you had, example, the early stove bolt Chevy 6-cylinders.
Sure.
Splash oiling.
Yeah. Yeah, and that went quite a while was it even into the 50s?
Into the 50s, yeah. It wasn't until I think 53 or 54 they went to full pressure oiling on the.
It's hard to
on the engine.
believe.
That's why I like hanging out with you guys, because I always learn stuff.
Well, but the problem was we were around when this stuff was new.
I got a new set of wrinkles that are growing on top of the original set.
Oh, you do? Yeah. Really? Yeah.
Here's a
Well,
one-liner I heard the other day. It was more appropriate when Dick Clark was alive. But speaking of age, he said, that Dick Clark, he's so old that in his previous life he was Dick Clark.
Yeah, he could do that too. He was the oldest living teenager. But God rest in peace. He was a neat guy, and I
Yep.
remember watching him in American Bandstand.
Yeah, he did
when they
so
filmed
much for
in
music.
Philadelphia.
Yeah.
How about it? Yep. Hey, you guys mentioned Bernie Longjohn was
Yes.
at the LACR, sort of come around once again
There
event.
he
I
is.
wanted to get that photo there.
Yeah, that's
there
Bernie
he
with
is.
Stormy. Now, Bernie just had some back surgery. That's why he's got the cane. So he's slowed down. He only walks at 30 miles an hour now.
He was whipping around on a golf cart,
Oh, he
though.
sure was,
He
yeah.
doesn't mess around. Yeah, he's a sweet guy, and his wife was there, and his family, and we all signed a T-shirt for him,
Yep.
and just love him because he helps support racing off of the street, and it's a good thing.
You got to think about it too. That was the last active drag strip in Southern California for many years. I mean, Riverside closed down, Orange County Raceway closed down,
Yeah.
Fontana hadn't opened up, Irwindale was closed. You had to go to Bakersfield or Carlsbad.
So, how many sanctioned tracks do we have left in California, Bob?
Well, we got Sears Point, or whatever they're calling it now, in Pinion or what have you. You got Bakersfield. You got Sacramento. We've got Redding.
That's 4.
We've got Verona,
Hey, there's the hot rod.
Look at that.
Irwindale. Yeah, that looks familiar.
So 6 in the
Yeah,
whole state.
6.
So isn't it every Thursday? Yeah.
Yeah, every Thursday night under
So
the lights
I have
at Irwindale
a
Drag
secret
Strip.
story to tell you about
You do?
LACR.
Tell me a secret story.
Well,
Well,
the day they closed it was kind of sad, but
Yes.
a week later I went in to the track with Moldy Marvin
yes.
and did a photo shoot, and that was
Oh.
actually the real last race.
Oh.
And I have a poster of that that's selling at the Peterson Automotive Museum.
Oh.
And if you want one, just email me on Facebook and I'll get you one.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
boy,
Lindsay
oh, boy.
Kuhn helped me
Oh.
colorize it, and it's a flag start.
Don Horn, the guy right there, he's the one that had that sign. That was the sign that they had up at the last drag race.
Right.
Oh,
Now, I
boy.
met Don when he was 16 years old. His daily driver was a Model A Ford.
How about it?
He's a cool dude.
He's a fun guy, and that was the first time he'd raced in years. Irwindale, Irwin Coiler.
Now,
Comes
didn't
out.
he have the silver car?
No, he's got the yellow Mustang.
Oh, okay. The
Oh,
yellow
yeah.
Mustang.
John Nickel, he was the one of the other announcers at Irwindale, and at Christmas time he rents himself out as Santa.
Ah, perfect.
Yeah, he does. And there he is, upside down.
Yep.
Yeah, there's Irwindale Irwin's car,
Yeah.
his Mustang. It's a regular Thursday nights.
It was so neat. Small block magic bitch. That's his car. It was so neat to see the same cars that were running at that track at Irwindale.
That is really
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, a lot of the guys came
And
down.
there's the whole family with
There
the
it is.
same original car.
Now, the guy in the red shirt at a car show a few years ago, I gave a trophy to the most uninsurable car. And it wasn't this race car. You should see his street car.
Oh boy.
It might as well be a race car. And it's you got 3 generations there, but it's a father and son who raced at LA County Raceway.
Yep, and they're teaching the little one to
They teach them
be
the
a,
right way.
a junior rodder.
That's
How
it.
about it?
Hey, Bruce, I think it's about time.
I
unfortunately.
know, man. So many memories to live through, and of course, I'm getting new ones all the time because I
Yes.
just keep forgetting the same stuff over
What?
and over. So, yeah, exactly.
Well, if you forgot any of this show, stick around because the encore presentation starts in just a couple of moments.
That's magic. That's live television, baby. Hey, thanks for joining us for the live
Take
show.
care, everybody.
Good night.